Hello everybody, how are you doing? Almost losing track of the days of the week now. It's Wednesday, I think it is. Have you ever noticed that time is a social construct? And when we decide to deconstruct it, suddenly it just disappears into thin air. I guess you have sun up, sun down, kind of lunchtime. But days of the week, totally man-made invention really. Just thought I'd mention it. And talking of time being a social construct, it's almost like no time has elapsed between now 1 and now 26. Where did all the years go? To just another day with UB40 doing just another cover. It was Red Red Wine on now 1. Here we are, 10 years later. Almost to the month, I think, because this is late 93. And UB40 are kicking off now 26. Another cover, obviously an Elvis song. 41 million views. And probably second only to Red Red Wine in terms of shorthand for a UB40 cover. It's this one. Supposed political reggae band doing Elvis songs. It's not bad. It's so light reggae. It's one of those songs where you wonder how 8 people really find something to do in the studio, because one person could have done it on a keyboard. Nice real brass, I suppose. Better to have that than the MIDI stuff. So yeah, UB40, and you know, they do it well. It's this karaoke syndrome again, really. But yeah, UB40. Now talking of karaoke, Go West, Pet Shop Boys. Village People did the original back in the late 70s, up there with YMCA in the Navy. Pet Shop Boys continuing their sort of camp thing, their ironic kitsch. And, it, you know, like I said, when we were doing things like Suburbia, we forget that they used to be like cutting edge kind of electronica band. And now they're just doing sort of karaoke versions of the most gay songs they can think of, just because. It's kind of epic in a kind of ridiculous way. But yeah, you know. Right, okay, talking of gay songs, and another one that's already been on a Now album, Relax, which was on Now 2, Back Again by Frankie Goes to Hollywood. It still sounds good because it was such a great production. Still kind of mired in the 80s. But yeah, for some reason it was back and it was a big hit again. I don't really know why, to be honest. So far we've had 3 old songs, 2 covers and 1 re-release. Guess what? We've got another not quite old song, but one that's actually a rip-off of an old song, if you've heard it. It's M People, and it's their first appearance on it now. It's One Night in Heaven, which was a huge kind of wedding disco. Sort of, I was doing a lot of DJing at this time. 18th parties, 21st parties and stuff. Pretty across the board song. Heather Small and her great set of vocal chords. It's actually a rip-off of an old song though, and I really suggest you check it. I think it was Linda Clifford or someone, and it's called High Wire. Linda Carr, that was it. Linda Carr and the Love Squad, High Wire. Listen to that and then listen to this. But it's pretty well done. It was certainly a big hit, and you can't really complain about her voice. M People would go on to have loads and loads of identikit singles, some better than others, a few covers, a few slower ones. This remains one of their best songs to this day, and it's the first one that's, well, no, they're all kind of okay so far, but it's the first one that's kind of original-ish. We follow it by Eternal and Stay. Now, I think this is the first single for Eternal, who were a really pretty good UK girl vocal group. 4 girls, including the famous Louise, or infamous Louise. And Stay, yeah, pretty good slice of UK R&B. Not totally memorable. I think the best song they did we'll come on to, Save Our Love. But a pretty good one. That's followed by the American equivalent. Right here, SWV, Sisters with Voices, a song that uses a Michael Jackson sample, just a bit of music. I think it was Human Nature from Thriller album, and just sticks a bit of that music with putting a whole new song over it. Very soul, very R&B. Pretty good stuff, really. Okay, we follow that up with first appearance on a now. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, aka Will Smith. Boom, Shake the Room. This was a big classic kind of party hip-hop, pop hip-hop song. The one all about sometimes I get nervous and start to stutter. Just a big kind of party song, really. I don't know if it's probably still pretty popular, because it's Will Smith after all. Okay, we follow that up with Coming On by the Shaman, who are actually going off, really, more than coming on. It's another unfunny kind of pseudo-intellectual one. They're all that, basically, other than Ebenezer Good. No, they're okay, some of them, but it's just very formulaic. They've all got the same kind of sounds. They've all got a Colin Angus bit. They've all got a Mr. C bit. They all go on about kind of, I don't know, sort of psychedelic stuff. Yeah, Coming On. Right, and Here We Go by Stackabo. Shall we stick a bit of this on? Because I've not heard this one for a while. On first listen, you'd think this was stereo MCs, and it's amazing how they really did set a paradigm, actually, that a lot of people would follow. I've talked about We 3 before. Kind of jazz, funk, light hip-hop. Most of the rapping on this is pretty good, but there's one guy who does a bit of an abysmal verse. They're from... where are they from? Are they from Sweden or somewhere? The writers are Jonas von der Berg and Johan Renck. Yeah, it's very kind of groovy, got flutes and stuff, quite hipster. This guy's got a really good voice. It's the other guy's not so good. But yeah, it's very, very stereo MCs, really, and if you didn't know better, you'd think it was them. But it was a good song, big hit. Okay, Chakademus and Pliers are back with She Don't Let Nobody. This is really, really nice, actually. This is one of their best songs. It's really kind of nice, sweet, almost lovers reggae, almost mixed with dancehall. Which is which? Is it? Who's the one who's got the high voice? Is that Pliers? And Chakademus does the kind of like grumbling stuff. It's a good contrast and it works really well. Sorry, excuse my impression. Right, okay, we follow this up with Tina Turner. She's still going. Another alumna, I think, for female, of Now One, class of 83. Disco Inferno. Wow, this is a weird one. I don't know why she did this. It's pretty similar version of the Tramps original, which is on the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack. And she's done it pretty straight. It's got that funky disco beat. Yeah, it's a pretty good version, really. If you really like this song, check out John Otway and Bunsen Burner, who sort of reinvented it again a few years later. Right, okay, Tina's followed by Belinda Carlisle and Big Scary Animal, a bit of a weird name for a song. And Belinda's still going. She's had a long run of hits. You know, as I've said before, she's maybe not quite reaching the heights of Oh Heaven Is a Place on Earth. It was a kind of respectable song, a bit more 90s. Now, this is followed by another ultimate one-hit wonder. The definition to me of a one-hit wonder is that they have one song which is an absolutely massive hit. And they might have a couple of smaller little hits, but essentially they have nothing ever that ever troubles the charts again. Now, his Spin Doctors and Two Princes... 79 million views, 80 million views. That's a hell of a lot. That's a real classic. That's unbelievably large for a one-hit wonder. And looking at the comments, there's still people listening to this day. Yeah, kind of alternative rock. Got a 90s kind of shuffly beat. This is very much a kind of 90s alt-rock thing now, getting bigger and bigger. Pretty good lyrics about two guys who fancy the same girl. One of them is all sort of up himself and suave and smooth, and the singer's the other one. Lyrically, that's a bit like Uptown Girl by Billy Joel, the same kind of conceit. Yeah, this is a bit of a 90s classic, really, on the quiet, isn't it? Good rocking song. Followed by another one, another classic. Good run so far. R.E.M. and the Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight, Calling Cheryl Baker Calling Cheryl Baker. Another enigmatic song by R.E.M. More up-tempo, very much in the R.E.M. paradigm. Weird cryptic lyrics and stuff. Kind of jokey references to The Lion Sleeps Tonight in the vocals. Great song, really. R.E.M. were really at the top of their game on this point. And that's followed by another really, really good song. I'm definitely sticking this one on now. One of my personal favourites from the entire 90s. One of the very best songs ever on a Now album. Wow, I hope it lives up to that. It's The Levellers and This Garden. And The Levellers had a few songs throughout the 90s. A very self-contained band. They basically just sort of got their own cottage industry. Didn't play the mainstream game. That said, this song was a big hit. Reminds you a bit musically of someone like Pop Belita itself. A kind of shuffly beat. I don't really call it rapping, kind of singing in a very indie way. Great lyrics, really good lyrics. Totally feel the lyrics. Didgeridoo's, sort of jungle noises and stuff. Yeah, I love this song. I really, really identify with it. And it's the kind of eco thing that we've been having for a while now. Just turning a bit darker, a bit less kind of utopian and a bit more dysfunctional, really, about not the world we'd love to live in, but the world we do live in. Stuff about fox hunting and things. Yeah. Great song, really good attitude, really good music, great video as well. And that's followed by another good one, James and Laid. Another hit for James, who were really going pretty well. Most songs they did had something to say, something kind of wry and sort of social commentary. And that's followed by Distant Sun, another great song by Crowded House. Yet again, it's hard to really talk about Crowded House songs. They just are. They're very zen-like. They don't need to kind of sell themselves with groovy sort of fluorescent video effects and stuff. They just are. Another classic. This side has been really, really good, actually. There's been some great songs on it. Sorry to cut off the Levellers, but when you hear what I'm going to play, I'm sure you'll understand why. Yeah, basically, that banjo advert. Now, talking of views, it's just so surreal to see Steve Martin playing a banjo advert and then going into Creep by Radiohead. It just doesn't work. Oh dear. 380 million views, almost 500 million. And I've been working on a version of this with a singer, just for fun. If you can call a song like this fun, unquote. It's a great song, actually. It's another song that has basically one, bit like What's Up, just one chord sequence. It goes over and over, and different sort of instruments are added. You've got that brilliant guitar noise, and then the guitar coming in really heavy. Two versions of the lyrics, one with the F-bomb, and I don't think it needs those lyrics. I get why you had it in here, but I think it works with very special. This is basically the song that really made Radiohead go next level. I guess Radiohead purists might think of it in sort of Freebird terms. You know, it's a kind of obvious choice. Have you got any Radiohead other than Creep? Not that they don't like it, just that it's so overplayed. Why is it overplayed? Because it's bloody good and it's like groundbreaking. I wouldn't call it grunge or anything, but it's sonically the nearest we get to grunge on an Now album. And I'm really still gobsmacked, maybe it was copyright stuff, why bands like Nirvana and Pearl Jam didn't make it onto the Nows when they were having so many hits. This is one of the most alternative songs on a Now, and really good, really, really good song. Unfortunately, Now being Now, they always do this. They follow up highlights with lowlights. It's to keep you on your toes, I think, just to check you're listening. You know, like when you have a slideshow and someone puts the slide in upside down just to check you're not falling asleep. Slideshows. Can you even do that with PowerPoint nowadays? I'm sure you can. It's Meatloaf. Someone we thought was best left back in 1978. Bat Out of Hell 2. No, don't get me wrong, I love Bat Out of Hell and I love Kim Steinman. But I'd do anything for love. I don't know. It seems like an artifact of a bygone era, really. It was massively, unacceptably, unfeasibly popular. It really was. Made number one for weeks. No, everyone joked about what he wouldn't do for love. Go out into town without a face mask. I don't know. Gallows humour. It's not that bad. I'm going out in a bit for a walk. It's lovely, actually. But yeah, Meatloaf, I'd do anything for love, but I won't do that. You might like it. I think it's definitely notable, and I'm not going to play it, but I am interested to see the stats, because I'm sure it would have had effing millions. So yeah, I mean, this is one of those examples where, in the name of cultural impact, I have to acknowledge it, as opposed to personal taste. And I am trying to do that a lot through this. Obviously, I'm telling you ones that I'd really love. But I'm really also looking at ones that, even if I don't really like them, that the public do. 95 million views, almost 100 million, I mean. Pretty good. So yeah, a lot of people like Meatloaf. Right, now we're on to disc 2, and it's dance time again. We start off with, I was going to say a cappella. It's not a cappella, it's capella. And You Got to Let the Music. Another very good song by them. Capella did some of the best Eurodance of anyone. They were just a little bit more credible, a little bit harder, a little bit less gimmicky. Yeah, You Got to Let the Music was a very good follow-up to You Got to Know. I love telling people what you got to do. We now move on to another great big Eurodance song. 83 million views. One I loved then, love now. An actual song proving that dance music could still maintain a really good song. Albeit in the post-Adamski thing where it's only really one chord sequence all the way through. But it still has a verse, it still has choruses, it still has a kind of middle eight. Really good extended version of this where the middle eight goes on for ages. Quite trancey. It reminds me of this old sound card that I had at this time, a Yamaha, if I'm going to, let me see, TG100 I think it was. Yamaha TG100, let me see. Oh, that's a router now. Yeah, I was just, I got an Atari ST by this time. That's right, it was a Yamaha TG100 General MIDI sound module, which I had with an Atari ST. And it was the TG standing for tone generator. Why am I talking about that? I'm sure they had one on this song. Almost all the sounds on this sound like they came from a lot of the organs and stuff. Hadaway had a really good voice. Yeah, this is a great song. It's got emotion, it's got funk. It's kind of retro and modern at the same time. One of the best hits of 93. Now 26 is actually shaping up to be one of the best nows for bloody ages. We follow this up with 2 Unlimited, Maximum Overdrive. As I've said before, 2 Unlimited have one formula. They pick a theme and then they add a few random sounds to reflect that theme. So with Twilight Zone, I guess it was kind of horror. With Tribal Dance, it was kind of jungle, tribal stuff. Now, guess what? Maximum Overdrive, car noises, revving cars and stuff. Good old 2 Unlimited, same old, just a little kind of gimmick. I'm not really complaining because they're okay. But equally, you know, you can't really call them timeless music. Now, one that I think is probably still fairly popular, albeit in a kitsch 90s retro way, Culture Beat, Mr. Vane, which really is an almost identical copy of Snap, Rhythm is a Dancer, but better, a bit less lumpy and a bit more up-tempo. Mainly in the hats, if you're going to be all muso about it. Call him Mr. Right or call him Mr. Wrong, is it? Call him insane. I don't know. And yeah, the rap was okay. Presumably the guy being Mr. Vane. Massive song, very number one holiday hit. But I'd still give that a listen. Right, okay, another weird one now. Another weird dance song. The Good Men. I think it's the only thing they did, and Give It Up. Lots of sort of bongos and this very complicated kind of almost Latin carnival rhythm that keeps sort of stopping and starting. Takes a while to kind of get going. Lots of whistles. Bit lacking on the song front. Really just a chant. Give it up. Give it up. Yeah, a weird one that. Not really stood the test of time, but certainly original for a piece of dance music. More notable maybe that Simply Red would rip it off a few years later for Fairground. Right, all-time classic time now. And its very first appearance for Left Field. But more than that, it's the second appearance for John Lydon, who was there with Don't Ask Me. Here's an ultimate classic. It's only had 1 million views, which really surprises me. But if you like electronica and you like punk, then this song just merges both. Open Up. This is just such a classic. The beat is real like techno now. John Lydon is doing his absolute best stuff here. It's brilliant. This is just so good. It's kind of punky and angry. I seem to remember it had the lyrics "Burn Hollywood, burn," and after it came out, there were fires in Hollywood. So another case of life imitating art. Yeah. Oh man, I want to go raving when I hear this. This is so good. They follow it up with another in the line of, and really, I don't think it should have been here on the running order. I think I should have moved it around a bit. It really doesn't follow this. Apache Indian, Boom Shakalak, another kind of 60s style dancehall with a bit of bhangra in there. Is that the first real Asian influence, other than Boy George pretending to be Indian, on a Now album? Boom Shakalak. It's pretty good. I really like Apache Indian. I think he was a great pop star, and it was a reflection of the increasing popularity of Asian music. And I'm a big Bhangra fan. If you live near Bradford, you'd be as well. It's we do need more Asian music, really, to be honest. There's a lot of Asian people live in Britain, and it's popular music, and it's really, really good. And it's nice to have fusion stuff. So Apache Indian, it's maybe the kind of pop side of it, but better than nothing. Right, we follow that up with Urban Cookie Collective and Feels Like Heaven, back to the Euro beat, and another really, really good Euro song. These are some of the best Euro dance songs. I mean, it could be a naff genre, but it equally could be really, really pumping club fillers. Feels Like Heaven's got the right bittersweet kind of feel the sunshine all around. Oh, feels like heaven and all that. Catchy chorus, good sounds, good beat. Another Euro one, maybe a bit less remembered, the Captain Hollywood Project. He'd had a few hits with 24/7 a few years ago. More features another almost rhythm is a dancer kind of sound alike. Same chords more or less. Vaguely conscious lyrics. They're quite mumbled. But yeah, it's a good, maybe dated, but still a good Euro beat song. Okay, Piano House now with Juliet Roberts and Free Love. Pretty uplifting. She had a few minor hits around this time, but good club stuff. And we follow that one with the very first appearance. This has got some really, really big names on it, this one. Jamiroquai and Too Young to Die. Was this his first song? I think it was. Pretty striking, pretty different. Certainly different to anything else on the round. 10 million views. Yet more eco stuff, although he did get a predilection for fast sports cars. I don't know if they're hybrids, and even if they were, are electric cars any better for the planet anyway? And at the end of the day, it's not about whether that person's a hypocrite. I've talked about John Lennon before being, a bad father. It's the music I'm judging in these, not their private lives. That's their business. When it comes to the music, if the message is good, then fair play. As long as you can believe in it, I think. And if for someone's that fake that you just can't believe in what they're singing, then obviously it's valid artistic criticism. In this case, I think Jamiroquai's music is pretty pure, pretty resonant, not fake, pretty honest. Obviously, it's incredibly derivative of 70s funk. But it's like Lenny Kravitz. It's done well. It's done in a kind of organic way. There's a good band. It's not cheesy. Really important stuff, really. I think my favourite Jamiroquai song, probably Virtual Insanity. But yeah, this is good. Very refreshing. Don't Be a Stranger, Dina Carroll. Another ballad, another good one. I did have a soft spot for her. Very orchestral. It takes a while to go in and really build. Good ballad. Good strong ballad. Don't Be a Stranger. Okay, take that. Not one of their worst songs. I feel a bit naughty in some ways calling Take That a boy band, because I guess, I don't know if they're still going, but they were going up till a few years ago, certainly. And, you know, Gary did write his own songs, and I think over time they did start to play their own instruments. So, you know, it's a bit snobby to say, I'm not talking about Take That. I've tried to explain that if it's a boy band, I see it as intrinsically something kind of a bit manufactured and corporate. Pray, adequate, fairly popular, summery song. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Going Nowhere, Gabrielle. A bit more up-tempo. Funnily enough, quite similar to Pray by Take That in terms of sound. Yeah, pretty good actually. Better than Dreams in a way. But Going Nowhere, it's one of those song titles that almost makes it sound like it's going to be a flop. Going Nowhere. Okay, Lena Fiagby's right. We've got to get it right. She was on the last one with You Come From Earth. Got to get it right. It's another song that barely troubled the charts. Now, love these kind of songs. Another post-Tamsin Arch one. And that's followed by Wish by Soul to Soul. Going back to kind of second rate. Okay, not bad. Just sort of middle of the road soul, really. Ditto Lisa Stansfield and So Natural. So we've had 4 kind of meh soul ones there. And now we follow it up with another classic. And it's another first time on a Now album. There's so many classic artists made their first appearance on this one. It's Bjork and Play Dead with David Arnold, the composer. And this was in a movie. Let me just check the right movie. Want to get that right. What film was it in? I should know this stuff, or I should have researched it. Young Americans, that's right. So, welcome to the world of Bjork. Obviously, she's been around a bit before making a Now. She was in the Sugar Cubes. But yeah, one of those people who went famous without going really commercial, without really having to sell out. Another song with a full orchestra on it. Really, really epic sounding. Bjork's usual quirky vocal delivery and kind of weird use of English in the lyrics. Stop confusing me with your wishful thinking. It kind of makes perfect sense as stuff, but it just doesn't sound like normal sentences. Incredible lyricist, incredible singer and an artist and visionary, really. Yeah, brilliant. There's so many great songs on this now. This is almost one of the best yet, if not the best. Especially as it was all looking so shit just a few Nows ago. Okay, Heaven Help by Lenny Kravitz. More of a ballad. Nowhere near as good or interesting as It Ain't... well, I was going to say, Are You Gonna Go My Way? Also, It Ain't Over Till It's Over. Not on a Now, but a good song. Yeah, it's a more ballady song. It's kind of a retro ballad. Talking of which, Tracks of My Tears, Go West, in which they turn their back on their normal 80s sound and go for an old Smokey Robinson cover. Passable, but really, I don't know why you'd choose to listen to that rather than the original. I just realised there's 40 songs on this. This must be the most songs yet. Is it really worth having more songs if you include so many more? Wouldn't it be better to just stick to 30 songs and get rid of 10 of the worst? I think quality, not quantity. Final song, number 40. I'm going to stick it on. It's Janet Jackson, and That's the Way Love Goes. This was something of a comeback for her, something of a reinvention, took her well into the 90s. One of the best R&B songs of all time. Just a really quite soft and gentle and mellow, but really nice chords. Really kind of good song structure. It takes a while to get going with all that like a moth to a flame stuff. No doubt there's about a minute of goofing around on the video before we even get to the song. 1 minute 20. Only 3 million views. Wow. I mean, it just shows to show that how popular Radiohead was, that it's had probably 20 times as many views as this. What? Still not even got to the song. 2 minutes, we finally get there. Yeah. It's a very strong way to end a Now. Sometimes the last song on side 2 is awful. It's nice to have a really good hit and a really strong song. So, now 26. Which songs on here have stood the test of time then? I think a fair amount. UB40, Can't Help Falling in Love with You. Not really. Maybe it's a joke. It was a cover anyway. Relax. Well, yeah, but that was from Now Too. Go West by the Pet Shop Boys. Not really, no. One Night in Heaven, Them People. Ish. Right Here by SWV. Ish. Let's see. Two Princes. Spin Doctors, definitely. Sidewinder Sleeps Tonight, REM, definitely. Discarded, Levelers, definitely. Creep, probably most of any song for any ages. Absolute classic. Not for me, but I will acknowledge it's in that. Meatloaf, I'd do anything for love. On a dance tip, You Got to Let the Music, Capella, definitely. Had Away What Is Love, definitely. I'd say Mr. Vane, up to a point. Open Up by Left Field and Leiden, definitely. Minorly, Feels Like Heaven, Urban Cookie Collective. Jamiroquai, Too Young to Die, I'd say. Play Dead, Bjork, definitely. And this, Janet Jackson, definitely. So I reckon there must be a good 12 classic songs on here. And it's really got some good artists making, I think it's their first Now appearance. Will Smith, it's his first time, definitely. Who else makes their first appearance? The Levelers, Meatloaf, for better or worse, Radiohead, Left Field, Jamiroquai, Bjork. So yeah, some big names. Alright everybody, now 26. If you have to get only one volume so far, this is a strong contender for the best yet. And we'll be back next time in 1994 with Now 27. Thank you very much.